Hi, everybody. I'm Diana Palm, and I'm your host today on Reconnect. I'm the medium that helps you heal the grief from heartbreak and loss. Today, we're going to be talking about how you can find peace after losing a loved one. So, I'm going to be talking about the timing of death, death doors, and how you can actually reach to get that connection with your loved one in the afterlife as a means to heal your grief. So, let's get started. So first we're going to talk about death doors, which is a concept that is I was taught spiritually that I've been understanding on a very deep level because of the work I do as a medium and as a healer. And with my connection to the afterlife, I'm able to connect with loved ones and find out why they selected a certain timing to go and how it benefited the ones that they left behind, you, the living loved ones. So we are all contracted when we come here. We literally have soul contracts to come together in collective groups like soul families. And some of those people are our actual families, and some are friends or mentors that we meet along the way. But it is literally a contract that we come together and share certain life experiences to grow our soul. And some of these experiences, as you know, are not pleasant. Some of them are very painful. And as humans, we have to go through a lot of struggle to really inspire the growth that our soul seeks for us to have. And in the end, when we go, we see our loved ones again on the other side, and it's a celebration. There are no grudges, even if the person was not kind to you in the living physical reality right now. When you're on the other side, you understand and you know and you recognize the soul contracts that you shared and the many lessons that were learned along the way. It's all for your soul's evolution. Now, of course, this does not take away the pain, the immediate pain of losing a loved one. But one of the things that I do see is that when people use their grief as a means, a catalyst for their own healing, that they are able to escalate and elevate their vibration in this lifetime, not just for connecting with their loved one in the afterlife, but also for lifting their grief and getting into soul alignment for their divine life path. So it all works together. You can't take one piece out of it and have it work the same way. It's miraculous, it's magical, it's destined, and it's why you came here. It's why you came here to have the special loving connections and bonds that you have with other physical beings. So we're going to go ahead and open up the chat room just in case any of you have comments or questions for me. As you know, I'm here live, so go ahead and post them if you're on Facebook, if you're on YouTube. You can put your comments on here or your questions, and I'd be happy to answer anything for you relating to this topic. So we're going to start here first with death doors. Now, let's see if I can do this without it. There you go. Without it getting too much light on it. Okay. So the concept of death doors is that when you come here into the physical realm, you're spirit first, you're eternal being. So as you decide, and yes, you did decide to come here. As you decide to come here, you are selecting the groups of people to come down here with, the collections, the group family, the soul family. You're deciding who to come here with, who to experience life here with. Your first decision is who you'll be born to, what family you'll be born into. You're selecting your parents, you're selecting your siblings, and you're also selecting a lot of peripheral people on the outside, which will be people that you meet later on. They may be mentors, lovers, friends. All of these people, they're still part of the collective consciousness called your soul family. Now, you have contracts with each and every one of them. And part of these contracts involve your timing of death and their timing of death. So this is what is referred to as death doors. We may have 4 death doors, like I've written down here. We could have 2 or 3. We could have 10. It all depends on you. So these are slated right into your lifeline by you, nobody else, by you. And each one contains magic and mystery. Each one contains how you will die, who is with you when you die, and how it will impact the lives of those you leave behind. Because we're here to grow. We're here to grow each other. And that's the gift in grief. So, how you may go? Well, when I've connected to people in the past, and I believe I have talked about this before on the show, I was working with a little boy spirit who had died by gunshot. And it was absolutely devastating. There's no way to make sense of it or wrap your mind around it. But once I got my connection and began talking to him through Source, I actually got information that that was one death door that he selected. That he did know the timing, the age, right? So that's the when. You can write that down. So he selected the age and when he would go, but he had two options for that age. So neither thing would have changed the trajectory. He was not ever going to live into his teenage years. He was never going to live to be an adult. He was never going to have his own children in this particular lifetime. He knew he was going to die at about 8 years old. So in his choices 1 and 2, he showed me very clearly that he could have died like he did with the gunshot, or his other option was to get leukemia. But in this option, he gave me a broader picture and he showed me how it would impact his family. And it showed me how it would impact his mother, who was a single mother and who struggled financially, and what that would do with a long, drawn out death, with medical bills and not having proper family support, and how it would just be such a burden on the family and so hard to overcome, even though his death was still going to be imminent, that leading up to it, that this was the most difficult of the choices. So his option that he chose was number 2, and that was the gunshot. Now, the gunshot allowed him to leave immediately, feel no pain, and it allowed his mother to find a new life purpose because she began speaking out on gun control and getting involved with schools. And she hadn't had a career before this. So this actually gave her life meaning through the leaving of her son. So that's what I mean by our life lessons, our divine path, how this unfolds and comes into our life. We don't ever, of course, we are not choosing it for the trauma. We're not choosing it for the violence or for the other incidences, the other events that occur around the death. But each individual does actually choose how, who, when, and the age that they go and how it impacts their living loved ones. This is one of the most important things that you need to know, because when we lose a loved one, there's always these questions about, why did they have to go so early, or the things that they missed out on, like they didn't get to be an adult. Well, perhaps they didn't want to be an adult in this particular existence, in this particular lifeline. In the next one, maybe they do want to be an adult. Maybe they live to a ripe old age of 99, or maybe they become a centurion. They may go on and live many different lives after this particular life. But in this one, choosing and selecting to go at a certain age has a lot of meaning and purpose behind it. Now, when it comes to death doors, I'm going to erase a couple here just so I have more room. Okay. So one thing that you need to know is that because we come here in a soul family, we're all clustered together, okay? We have our brothers and sisters, our moms, our dads, our aunts, our uncles, our teachers, our friends. We're all together, and we're on a particular life trajectory. Now, when we have the loss of a loved one, okay, we have a person here that has died. What immediately happens to them is their spirit ascends. And so now they're up here, overseeing the rest of their soul family. which is really special because now they're not in this group, they're in a much larger group. And from this vantage point, they have incredible power to be able to intervene in your life, to help you get through difficult things, and to help pull you up into their vibration to help you ascend. This allows you to tap into more of your spiritual giftings. When you reach to embrace them, to connect with them in the afterlife, your vibration is coming into the energy of where the spirit energy resides. And this activates your own spiritual energy. This is what allows you to become more psychic. It helps you to become a better medium if that's a desire of yours. It allows you to tap into many of your spiritual gifts. Some of them might be more compassion for yourself or for others. Some of it might be more forgiveness. Some of it might actually be things that exist on the quantum level, like a lot of things that we consider to be miracles. When you tap into your own spiritual energy through raising your vibration and frequency, you have a lot of power and unlimited potential because you are activating more of your divinity, more of your divine energy. So you're no longer behaving as a mundane human. I always say it kind of reminds me of those little that little game people used to play on the computer where you get little points, the Sims, and then you'd set up the houses and the little people would just walk around and bump into walls. So many times I think that that's what we look like on Earth. But when we activate our spiritual gifts, suddenly we become elevated and we become more conscious and we're able to do more. We're able to manifest more. We're able to experience higher vibrational living, which is always going to be in those vibrations of joy and peace and love. So the very act of you reaching up towards your loved one in the afterlife, this helps you ascend to a higher vibration spiritually. And that makes the rest of your life as you're here on earth more beautiful, more meaningful, more magical. So for those of you that are dealing with loss and working through those very many emotions and the actual physical life changes that you need to go through when you're experiencing grief, I want you to keep this in mind that the more you attune to your loved one in the afterlife, the more this actually helps you. And it's one of the blessings and the gifts that your dearly departed wants you to have. So I want to invite you to do this on your own this Christmas and spend a little quiet time, just quieting your mind and getting into some stillness. You can do this through meditation, or if meditation is not your thing, if you have trouble meditating, just spend time in silence. The whole point is just to quiet your mind. You can also do this through appreciating something in nature, or appreciating your life, or appreciating your health, or appreciating a gift. Whatever it is the more you can fill up on the energy of appreciation, this will help attune you into those higher frequencies, and it will help you to reach into the other realm and get your connection with the afterlife. So this is a wonderful way to raise your vibration and frequency this holiday season and for every day after that, and to really reach for the gifts of how your soul has been marked and moved and inspired and changed through the lives that you've shared and the people you've loved and the people that you've lost, who have all contributed to your soul's evolution. Everything is divine, and that includes the timing of your loved one's passing, how they passed, who was with them, who wasn't with them. All of those things are written before they come here. And I'd like to point that out too, because I do have so many clients that come to me saying that they were so sorry and so regretful that they were not able to be with somebody when they passed. And I want to let you know that that is by design. That is not by accident. It was not bad luck. You're not being punished. Your loved one selected who was going to be there at their bedside or at the accident scene or wherever else they passed. They selected who would be there near them and with them when they passed. All of these things are written into their contract. So even though we all have free will, there's certain coming together points where contracts are played out as written. So they selected all of those things. And if you were left out of that, don't feel bad. It wasn't part of your life experience to be there at the death door. So you'll have other opportunities with different people. People will have opportunities to be there with you. You have written all this down before you came here. So please don't hold yourself in regret because you feel like you didn't get to be there with somebody or that things would have been different if you had been there. That's just not the case. If your loved one passed and you were not there, that is by design. So I wanted to share that with you. And if that brings you any peace in your heart, then please let me know that down in the comments, because I know a lot of people really hold on to that as a deep wound and they carry it with them through life and always reflect back to that. So if that can bring you some peace moving forward, let me know, because that's the way the contracts work. You guys, I want to wish you all a very Merry Christmas. If you're watching this at any other time of year, thank you for being here. Be sure you tune back in with Reconnect. I go live on Facebook and YouTube every Wednesday at 11 o'clock Central Standard Time, 12 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. So you can always come on here, leave me some comments, some feedback, and be sure to invite your friends and share my videos if the information is helpful to you. Thank you so much. I look forward to reconnecting with you next week. Bye-bye.